have a good time tonight, let me tell you. And we're going to start with a category you Calgary folks know all too well, the municipal government waste category. Yeah. But first, hey Ryan, are you ready? Porky, are you ready? Calgary, are you ready? Regina wanted to give the city a rebrand. Tourism Regina became Experience Regina. They came up with slogans like, Regina, the city that rhymes with fun. And if there's anyone out there who doesn't get it, you can ask this guy. He'll explain it to you, maybe even more than you'd like. Well, Regina is fun, until you're paying for college 18 years later. They also had this slogan, show us your Regina. That was their actual slogan. And it worked. It was the most attention Regina has gotten since college. So this rebrand cost Regina taxpayers $30,000. But after some backlash, Regina quickly pulled out and scrapped the rebrand. Because show us your Regina isn't something you can say on the first date. If there's one city hall that knows a thing or two about crack pipes, it's Toronto. Toronto spent $33,000 buying branded stickers for crack pipes. The $33,000, that was not for the crack pipes themselves. It wasn't even for the drugs. They spent $33,000 putting stickers on the crack pipes they're handing out. Because if there's anything that crack users are double checking, it's whether their government pipe is government certified. We decided to think of a new slogan for Toronto tourism. Experience Toronto. Sure, you can't afford a home, but at least your free crack pipe is approved by Olivia Chow. How does the city of Montreal want to tackle its crime problem? Hire more cops? No. Get tough on drugs? Not that either. Montreal is spending $420,000 putting up animal statues in one of its most violent neighborhoods. It's like a therapy pet for criminals. Because you know what that criminal is probably thinking? Yeah, I was gonna steal that lady's purse until I saw this statue of a giraffe, and maybe I'll just go to the zoo instead. But wait a minute. Who's gonna protect the statue? Because in Montreal, a statue is the most dangerous thing you can be. You're gonna like this one. Edmonton spent $60 million on a fleet of electric buses. But there was one totally unforeseeable problem. It gets cold in Edmonton. So the batteries froze and the electric buses don't work. So what did the city of Edmonton do? Did they trade in their electric buses for ones that run on something like, oh, I don't know, gasoline? Of course not. It's Edmonton we're talking about. They spent $200,000 on blankets to warm up the batteries of their electric buses. And the electric buses still don't work. It turns out, even if you have blankets, when it's minus 40, it's still cold enough to freeze the batteries off an electric bus. Halifax IT department lost 450 laptops. Hillary Clinton would be impressed. Hunter Biden said he thinks one of those are his. But let's get serious for a second. It got so bad, the Auditor General was brought in because there was a cybersecurity threat. Until they realized nobody working at Halifax City Hall has any valuable information. In totally unrelated news, I just got a text from my buddies. You can get a smoking deal on some slightly used laptops at the Sunnyvale Trailer Park. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the winning envelope. And the winner of the Municipal Government Waste category is Regina! Regina spent $30,000 on the rebrand, and then they scrapped it. Our investigative journalist, his name is Ryan Thorpe. He's over there. And he's sad. He's sad. Rumor has it, Ryan still hasn't experienced Regina. If you don't like that, it's only getting worse, folks. And now to the provincial government waste category. The government of Nova Scotia dropped $1.3 million building a home sharing app. Apparently, Nova Scotia has never heard of Airbnb, Kijiji, or Realtor.ca. Well, I guess they couldn't look up these websites because all their laptops were stolen. Hey, maybe this is a good idea. Let's go through the numbers. Airbnb, 150 million users. Kijiji, 31 million users. Realtor.ca, more than 240 million visits to their website each year. Nova Scotia's app, not 12 million, not 12,000, 12. Only 12 people use Nova Scotia's app. Even this guy can count to 12 if he takes his socks off. LaBelle Province is spending $7 million to get the LA Kings to play 2 games in Quebec City. The Montreal Canadiens said they would play there for free. Now, I'm no geography expert, but I'm pretty sure Montreal is closer to Quebec City than Los Angeles. It gets worse, and here's why. Other NHL teams said they would play in cities like Wichita, Kansas, or Independence, Missouri for free. Independence, hey? I'm sure some people in Quebec would like the name of that town. Maybe some of you here too. So you have these other NHL teams that will play in other cities for free. But for the Kings to experience Quebec, they need $7 million. And these are preseason games. Who wouldn't spend millions of dollars to see some bench warmers? The minister behind this acknowledged the optics aren't good and the timing ain't great. Yeah, because it's the timing that's bad, not the $7 million tax dollars you're spending. This one's a doozy. Oh. The Alberta Foundation for the Arts spent $30,000 flying a Lethbridge artist to South Korea and New York. This is one of her paintings. You know what I call it? Ants on a Pop-Tart. And it gets worse, everyone. We're going to play a little video of what she did in South Korea. I swear to you all, this was actually from her performance. And we did you a favor, we sped it up. That's her impression of living in East Hastings. They should have paid her $25,000 to stop. If you're waiting for the good part, that's as good as it gets. What did the South Koreans do to deserve this? Hey, you know what? I kind of want to make art like that. Does anyone have a case of beer and a futon? Now, folks, you know you messed up bad when even the government thinks you spend too much money. Enter former Manitoba Law Dean Jonathan Blackbranch. Blackbranch expensed more than $500,000, including $50,000 on meals. Hey, he's a popular guy. He was probably just eating with lawyers, right, to make Manitoba's law school the best in the country. Only one problem. These lawyers said they were never eating with Blackbranch. At one of his favorite cafes, the owner said he was usually there by himself. Folks, we did it. We found the one thing taxpayers' money can't buy. Friends. The BC government is dropping $150 million on some new construction. No, it's not to build new homes. No, it's not to help the homeless. It's $150 million going to the people who really need it. You know, the ones who are flying in from Europe on their private jets to watch the FIFA World Cup. Shame. But folks, these people have a lot of needs. They need a new VIP entrance. They need new VIP suites. And they need a new VIP private walkway so they can head to the casino when the soccer game gets boring. After the first 2 minutes. And with that, time to find out who is the winner for the provincial government waste category. And the winner is the Alberta Foundation of the Arts. Hey, is anyone from the Alberta government in the room here? Is anyone out there? Where's Tanya? Because I found a way that you can save money. Don't give this artist $30,000. Just set up a camera for the next time I go to the beach in Mexico. This is work of art. Well, I'll tell you someone who has a name coming up right now as we move to the federal government category. You're gonna like this. You're gonna like this. Sometimes the bills for a big party get totally out of hand. The open bar, the band, the fun face painting. Trudeau and his cabinet had 3 retreat parties in 1 year, and they had a great time. Fancy hotels, steak, booze, hundreds of friends. These 3 retreats in 1 year cost taxpayers more than $1 million. Shame. What was the theme of these $1 million retreats? Affordability. Honestly, I think they need to expense themselves a dictionary. But hey, it really looks like Trudeau's affordability retreats are paying off. Here's something I didn't have on my bingo card. I don't even have to tell a joke. But I'll try. Here's something I didn't have on my bingo card. A CBC anchor citing the Canadian Taxpayers Federation while grilling the CBC boss on live TV.
I'm just curious about something. I'm going to presume no bonuses this year. I mean, the Canadian Taxpayer Federation said a Freedom of Information request showed $16 million were paid in bonuses in 2022. Can we establish that that is not happening this year?
It's too early to say where we are for this year. We'll be looking at that like we do all our line items in the coming months.
So there's a chance bonuses could still happen at a time when jobs are being cut?
I'm not going to comment on something that hasn't been discussed at this point, so.
Okay.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah, 100% chance the CBC executives are taking bonuses. In fact, the CBC paid out $15 million in bonuses in 2023. And you know what? The only reason Canadians know about it, it's not because the CBC publishes this on their website, is because the Canadian Taxpayers Federation's investigative journalist Ryan Thorpe dug it up. All told, the CBC handed out $114 million in taxpayer-funded bonuses since 2015.
Look at all the great reruns they put on.
So that begs the question, what have the CBC executives done to deserve their bonuses? We decided to check out their website. What do you notice about those executives, or not notice? I think they're doing woke wrong. But folks, this is literally what we found looking at their performance metrics on the CBC's own website. Take a look here. Let's go, Ryan. All right, let's check out their performance metrics. Oh, air. I'm sure that was just one time. Ryan, let's check out another one. Air. More airs than a CBC nightly newscast. One more time. Well, who could argue with results like that? All right, folks. If this corporate welfare works, the Calgary Stampede is going to look a bit different. Instead of trying to hold on to some big bull for 8 seconds, cowboys will be herding these little doggies around. The federal government spent more than $400,000 in corporate welfare to companies that want to replace T-bones with this bad boy. They want to turn these into steaks, sausages, and falafels. Or how about a little bit of cricket powder mixed into your morning bowl of Cheerios? All a part of this guy's balanced breakfast. I can tell your mouths are watering. And you're probably asking yourself, is Franco gonna eat that thing? Oh, not bad. But it ain't no Alberta beef, and it damn sure ain't worth $400,000. Honestly, guys, the aftertaste is pretty bad. I think I need some Shelter Point whiskey to wash it down.
Grab your cup.
Here we are, a little bit of Shelter Point whiskey, right on. Cheers, everyone. Now, you know what, folks? This might be the whiskey talking, but I'm going to say something nice about the Prime Minister. At least when Trudeau spent $6,000 a night on a hotel, he stayed in the room. Wow, no applause for the Prime Minister. What a tough crowd in Calgary. Who would have thunk? His MP, Hetty Fry, took things to a whole nother level. Fry spent $600,000 on hotel rooms that nobody stayed in. Fry booked the rooms because she wanted to host a conference for European politicians in her riding of Vancouver. Now, I'm not an expert when it comes to geography, but here's Europe, and here's Vancouver. It's not even close. Now, apparently, the Europeans are better at geography than Fry because about half of the delegates didn't want to travel that far and didn't show up. And a third of the delegates who did show up decided to stay at cheaper hotels. Now, you might be spending too much money on hotels, if even Europeans think the big bill is too high. The government wanted to get rid of some deer. Locals shot dozens for free. Then Parks Canada stepped in and said the 9 scariest words in the English language. We're from the government and we're here to help. Predictably, the cost ballooned. Well, hunting does get a little more expensive when you're the government, and instead of a normal gun, you bring assault rifles. Instead of your buddy, you bring a bunch of snipers from the US and New Zealand. And instead of riding around in your old Chevy, you rent a $67,000 chopper.
They did?
The Fed spent $800,000 paying American and New Zealand hunters to shoot deer on a BC island out of a helicopter. They shot 84 deer. That's $10,000 a deer. You know, I remember when the Prime Minister said this.
But you don't need an AR-15 to bring down a deer.
Well, apparently Parks Canada does.
They didn't get the memo.
So folks, let's get this straight. Trudeau is spending millions taking guns away from law-abiding Canadian deer hunters. And then Trudeau is spending hundreds of thousands more bringing in foreign snipers with assault rifles to hunt deer. The Governor General spent more than $70,000 on limos in Iceland. She was only there for 4 days. I mean, Iceland isn't that big. She could have probably walked across the entire country in that time. But she didn't have to walk far. Her hotel was a 7-minute walk away from the main conference center. And she spent $70,000 on limos. Think about that, right? She could have bought a brand new BMW. Then she could have drove the wheels off it for 4 days. Then she could have ditched it at the airport with the keys in it, and she still would have spent less money. Or, you know, for $70,000, Parks Canada could have shot 7 deer. All right, let's take a look at the winning envelope. The winner for the federal government waste category is CBC President Catherine Tait. And she deserves to win after spending your money handing out millions of dollars in bonuses at the CBC. But you know what? How about we let Tait keep her bonus on one condition? She defunds the CBC. And now, our most prestigious award. It's the Lifetime Achievement Award for Waste. Past recipients have included everyone from premiers and prime ministers to Bevoda and Bombardier. This year's winner is the Mission Cultural Fund. Wait for it, folks. We first heard about this when the Prime Minister flew a Canadian chef to India to cook Indian food. I mean, how else are you supposed to get Indian food in India? So we dug a little deeper. It turns out the Mission Cultural Fund made some other key investments, like a $10,000 birthday party for Margaret Atwood in New York. What? Yeah. And a $52,000 photo exhibit for rock star Bryan Adams so he can show off his totally awesome photos, like this one. And this sex toy show in Germany. Sorry, folks. Or this one. And honestly, I don't even have a joke for this one. I'm just going to read the description from the government. A lesbian pirate musical featuring physically disabled performers that tells the story of two women who met while cross-dressing as male pirates. Now, thankfully, we didn't actually get a photo of this play, but we think it looks something like this. Not to mention, this slush fund was always over budget. Of course, right? But even after all that, they stuck with it. Until finally, one thing put it over the top. What was the thing that finally killed the Mission Cultural Fund? Sex stories from senior citizens in other countries. The federal government spent $12,000 paying senior citizens in other countries to talk about their sex lives in front of live audiences. And they weren't even Canadian seniors. We were outsourcing old people's sex stories. You know what? Nothing kills a party faster than this guy talking about his glory days. Because it was consistently over budget and spent buckets of taxpayer cash funding birthday parties and photo exhibits for celebrities and tortured countries around the world with sex-themed artistic performances, the Mission Cultural Fund is a worthy recipient of this year's Lifetime Achievement Award for Waste. Thank you, Calgary!